Alright, 23 talks about this. Joshua's charge. Joshua's charge to Israel's leaders. A long time afterward, when the Lord had given rest to Israel from all their surrounding enemies, and Joshua was old and well advanced in years, and Joshua summoned all Israel, its elders and heads, as judges and officers, and said to them, I am now old and well advanced in years, and you have seen all that the Lord your God, or Jesus, has done to all these nations for your sake, for it is the Lord your God who has fought for you. Behold, I have allotted to you as inheritance for your tribes those nations that remain along with all the nations that have already cut off, from the Jordan to the great sea in the west, or the Mediterranean Sea today. The Lord your God will push them back before you and drive them out of your sight, and you shall possess their land, just as the Lord your God promised you. Therefore be very strong to keep and do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, turning aside from it either to the right hand or to the left, that ye may not mix with these nations remaining among you, or make mention of the names of their gods or demons, or swear by them, or serve them, or bow down to them. But you shall clean the Lord your God, who is Jesus, just as you have done to this day. The Lord has driven out before you great and strong nations, and as for you, no man has been able to stand before you to this day. One man of you puts to flight 1,000, since it is the Lord your God who fights for you, just as he has promised you. Be very careful, therefore, to love the Lord your God. For if you turn back and clean the remnant of these nations remaining among you, and make marriages with them, so that you associate with them, and they with you, know for certain the Lord your God will no longer drive out these nations before you, but they shall be a snare and trap for you, a whip on your sides, and on thorns in your eyes, until you perish from off this good ground that the Lord your God has given you. He's telling Israel that if you end up being friends with these nations who surround you that are very paganistic, satanic, he says that God will come after you. Pretty much, God will turn on you. That's what he's telling Israel. If you turn from God, and if you associate yourselves with these satanic, paganistic countries that surround you, God will turn on you. It won't be good at all. And now I'm about to go. And now I'm about to go the way of all the earth, and you know in your hearts and souls of all of you that not one word has failed of all the good things that the Lord your God promised concerning you. All have come to pass for you, not one of them has failed. But just as all the good things the Lord your God promised concerning you have been fulfilled for you, so the Lord will bring upon you all the evil things till he has destroyed you from off this good land the Lord your God has given you. If you transgress the covenant of the Lord your God which he commanded you, and go and serve other gods and bow down to them, then the anger of the Lord will be kindled against you, and you shall perish quickly from off the good land that he has given to you. So again, Joshua's warning Israel: if you go out and if you become friends of these satanic, paganistic nations that surround you, Joshua's telling Israel that if you become their friends, God will destroy you. And of course, later on, when you read the Old Testament, Israel turns away from God, and he allows Israel to be invaded by nations, and until they repent. But anyway, that's chapter 23 about Joshua's charge to Israel's leaders. I'll be right back with 24, the last chapter of Joshua, here in a minute.